Hi, it's Dave in the stained glass studio, and what I'm trying to do here, okay, now this is a Diamond Max grinder, and we turn it around this way so you can grind against it, and then we turn it around this way so you can use this to grind flat surfaces. Alright, but either way you turn it, sometimes this grinder bit needs to be adjusted. Just like on this grinder over here, you need to be able to raise your bit up and drop it down so you get a new grinder surface. And this one has gotten to the point where the grinder isn't grinding very well. Now I have a problem. When I went to drop the bit, so you have to take this cover off, then you have full access to the bit, you'll see that the sponge has been shoved in here so that it pushes up against the entire length of the grinder bit. That was done by a student of ours. This grinder really only wants to have a 1-inch square bit. So the problem is that since it was up this high, it was running ground glass into where the set nut is getting ground glass into it. So now when I go to take it to loosen it, I put my my Allen wrench in here, and it doesn't go in very far. So what I have to do, I have to do something to clean that out. So what I'm going to do is take this can of lubricant, and I'm just going to spray right there okay. Now I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and kind of get in there and see if I can clean that out. See, it's nice and sharp, and so that gives me something that I can get in to clean it out with. And then I'm hoping the lubricant will kind of penetrate in there. And all right, I would normally use WD-40, but WD-40, I have a can of it, and I lost the spray nozzle. Okay, so let's see if this will let me into it. Okay, feels a lot more like I'm in. See, I can go in about that far. See, that's a lot farther than I was going in before. So now it's a little bit loose. I don't know why. Aha! See that? Now I can. Go loosen the nut a little bit more, and look, it's starting to come up. That's good for now. Okay, now we're going to use this bar, and I've got a little piece of wood in here so that I can get my bar right up to the grinder. Now I want to warn you that as you do this, you want to be careful. You just want to easily push, then turn it, easily push, and so forth, like that. If you try to really crank on it, you run the risk of hurting the shaft. If you bend that shaft, then nothing will spin properly. So now I'm Trying to get it to go now. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to have to tap it down a bit. Oh, see, I've got some gunk up here that won't let it go through. Now, I did a good job of putting Vaseline on there when I put it in the first time, so I just have to. There's some stuff in there. Let's see, I'll grab my X-Acto knife and see if I can get that out of there. I gotta be careful. Okay, now let's see if. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of emery paper on there. I'm gonna spin it. Here we go. So now, look at that. It came right off. Now, all I have to do is decide where my... Let's see, I'm going to put more Vaseline on there so I don't have any problem next time. You know, you really do want to lube up your shaft so that you'll be able to get it to work for you. Now, one thing I might want to do here, since I've got this off already, I can now pull off this surface. Let's see if I can. All right, so now I've got this surface kind of exposed, and I think I might just go right ahead and pop this off. Let me get my pliers. There. Just so happens that I ordered a new one of these because the old one was getting kind of dull. So we just... There it is. So it's got a little key. This little hole fits into that spot. Okay, so here's the new one. They're pretty pricey. I can't remember how much I had to pay for it. But when I ordered it, they were sold out. They couldn't get them for about a year. So I've been kind of limping along on this thing. This is a 180 grit, it says. The old one, you can't read what the grit was. Anyhow, this is 180 grit. So I line my hole up. I think I'll put some Vaseline on this too, just... All right, so okay, I gotta get it on here. This should be slipping right down on there, so maybe it's because it's made by a different manufacturer. Oh, that went down further that time. Huh. Maybe it's in. Sure is. Okay. Now we'll clean that out just like you wanted me to. I'll bring the trash can over here. It's interesting how much more work it is than you imagine. You know, because you have to clean one thing and then another and then another. Used to be that when I cleaned my grinders, I would clean them absolutely perfectly, and I would do that probably once a week. But you know, then time went on, then I would clean them once a month. So now this one is the one this was the one that goes on the back side here. When I'm grinding flat, I really need this piece on there. And when I'm grinding when I'm using it as a regular grinder, then I need that. So now I've already got some Vaseline on there. So now I'm going to go down. Now I was on the lowest edge of the grinder bit. So I'm going to, I want the flat part here so that the set screw will line up. And I'm just kind of putting it in the middle. That will give me only, if I'm really careful, I can get 4 grinding surfaces out of a bit. But I would prefer to only have 3 and have them be good solid surfaces so that okay. There it is. Now it's ready to ramble. I'm gonna chop this sponge down just a bit. Because I don't want it rubbing up against this spot. Now if I soak my sponge, it's pliable, so I'll be able to get it in here. And I'll be able to get it back against the grinder bit. Now, what do you think, Jeannie? Do you want to do you have a piece that needs to be ground? We'll just test it out. Okay. That's a really fine bit. Okay. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time in the Glass Studio. Make sure and hit the like button for this video, and subscribe to us. We really like to have you keep coming back, so subscribe, hit the all bell notification, you know, all that stuff. Thanks.